Hello, I am Barendipitous, and welcome to Patch Day, and especially welcome to the new legend number 66, Ransom. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about Ransom's lore, official lore that we see in the game right now. All of the connections that I can see, at least in my first glance here, and we will. We'll continue from there. Also, a little bit of an extra bonus this time because Ransom was there was a playable demo version of Ransom to the public at CEO the CEO LAN in Florida, I believe, a few weeks ago, and there were some people who showed me some screenshots of the lore back then. But that lore is actually different from the lore we have now. And so I wanted to also take this opportunity to not just go over Ransom's lore like as we see it now, but also kind of demonstrate how the lore can change over time until it is finally 100% released. So first of all, I'm going to go over to so this was a picture that was so a couple people sent me a picture like this. This photo was sent to me by Vulcan. Thank you very much, Vulcan. The So Icy Boys SIB people are always fantastic and incredibly supportive. I appreciate them. But this was a picture. This is a picture of one of the computers that in which you could play Ransom early, at least try them out at the CEO event tournament. So I'm just going to read over this, and then after kind of going over this briefly, I'm going to read Ransom's official lore that you can see in the game right now. So here's what it was. Here's what the kind of the early public version looked like. Ransom, the virus. The recent string of citywide technological shutdowns has MBFC officials scrambling for a solution. Free State citizens are advised that the best way to protect your devices from the viral menace is to smash them into pieces. Chuck Newman of MD Mighty News. Don't mess with me, buddy. I've downloaded the art of quantum war quite and kung fu. As the story goes. Known only by his alias, ace hacker Ransom's services around Miami Dome were constantly in high demand. He could easily attach corrupt file drives to a target laptop from over 2,000 yards away with his void laser bear bow. In the morning, he stole nuclear codes to distract from his plan to change the Earth's name to Ransom World. In the evening, he modified his cryptocerebrum link to communicate directly with the heart of the internet and sent it his spam folders. After a series of jobs that involved the stolen logic matrix core, drone-propelled water tigers, and several reply-all emails, the 5 algorithmic houses were on the brink of an all-out war. Tensions were high, and Ransom knew he had to get out before fingers pointed in his direction. Uploading his consciousness to the hypernet was the perfect escape. It granted him unlimited freedom, dangerous new powers, and a maniacal ego to match. After spending a few seconds transferring the entire history of the World Wide Web into his psyche, Ransom reconfigured himself into the ultimate digital life form. The rogue human-turned-virus brought ruin to every security protocol, artificial system, and payphone he ran up against. As Ransom continued his reputation as a prolific hacker by way of metaphysical techno-infiltration, he kept his senses sharp by inserting himself into various fighting game rosters. After a lengthy council discussion, the Valkyries concluded that cyber warfare was still warfare. Ransom's skills as a warrior were indisputable, and he was ushered into Valhalla. His battles are erratic but entertaining, through both Vector and Val staunchly refused to partner with him in 2v2s. So that was the earlier version of it, but you are going to see in a moment what we actually got was actually quite different, and I would say better. This is definitely going to be an example of this is cool. There's some funny stuff in here. This does feel like Brawlhalla lore, but what we got now, I think, is even better than that. So let me switch over to Brawlhalla real quick. So this is what Brawlhalla looks like today. And I know I'm covering up some of the words. Sorry about that, but I have all the words here. So, Ransom, the virus. Emergency alert. August 12th, 6:37 p.m. Undersea Free State Cyber Service. Severe warning. Data breach in effect. Citizens should be advised that everything is totally fine. Nothing is wrong and you should leave your computers on and unlocked. Emergency Alert Service. Ransom is the greatest. He's so awesome and amazing. Everyone in Valhalla and the Brawler reading this. So basically, first of all, Ransom is actually hacking his own lore. Like the first quote. So there's always two quotes in Brawlhalla lore. Sorry for pausing here, but there's always two quotes before the actual lore itself. There's a quote about that a third person talking about the legend, and then the other quote is the legend talking about themselves. And so this is Ransom basically hacking so I don't think like everyone in Valhalla and the Brawler reading this is actually like saying, okay, I don't think everyone in Valhalla is actually saying this, but Ransom is basically, it's like when a hacker like gets into a website and like, you know, changes the name of the website to haha lol loser or something like that, right? And I mean, to be fair, the Brawler reading this, you know, that is what they're reading. So anyway, as the story goes, predominantly known as Ransom, ace hacker, error, nice try, pal, knew the ins and outs of ace hacker, error, okay, error, I'm pretty sure, you know, predominantly known as Ransom, ace hacker, error, nice try, pal. Ransom basically censored his own actual name. Knew the ins and outs of the hypernet like the back of his neurosim. In the morning, he used his void laser barebow to launch corrupt data into the systems of Deepwater Dublin. In the evening, he stole nuclear codes to distract from his plan to rename Earth to Ransom World. As demand for his super cool and impressive skills grew, Ransom's enthusiasm for corruption began to rub up against the limitations of reality. He wove together a series of jobs involving malware-infused tiger drones, a stolen logic matrix core, and several reply-all emails. The resulting chaos gave the algorithmic houses enough of a reason to declare war against one another. More importantly, it gave Ransom everything he needed to digitize his consciousness. Fusing with the hypernet granted him unlimited freedom, dangerous new powers, and a maniacal ego. No, it didn't. MBFC created the virus Latrodectus system to classify and monitor his existence. Ransom rendered it obsolete 13 seconds after launch. His lightning-fast reaction and metaphysical techno-infiltration abilities remained legendary long after he ceased operation in Miami Dome. Ransom's self-invited arrival came as a shock to many in Valhalla. After much thought, Odin declared that cyber warfare was still warfare and permitted him to stay. Nash is henceforth banned from the Hall of Computers, however. So, okay. So you can see definitely where like a few details remained, right? But I also do feel I think you could potentially agree this is, especially the hacking thing, and lots of other details are just a little bit better. The hacking thing is fantastic, very meta, which is very much in line with all the stuff that was like, you know, as that we saw as Ransom was like getting teased and revealed and everything like that. I love all the like, you know, like reply all emails or like email chains and all that kind of stuff. That's like old 90s, 2000, early 2000s kind of stuff. Algorithmic houses. That's interesting because the only other time we heard about that is oh gosh, here need to sort these by A to Z. There we go. The only other time we heard about that was Val. Yeah, because in Val's lore, it said, here we go. She served the discontinuance needs of all sides in the wars of the 5 algorithmic houses, and anyone she served, she soon owned. So there was a war between 5 algorithmic houses in Miami Dome, and Ransom, we now see what caused it, basically. Right? Was that's in here, right? Oh gosh. I lost it. Here we go. The resulting chaos of Ransom's shenanigans gave the algorithmic houses enough of a reason to declare war against one another. So there we go. Ransom kind of was a bit of a catalyst, starting the war of the 5 algorithmic houses, and Val facilitated each of their needs and eventually owned them all. So that's fun. Now we also kind of see why Ransom corrupted Miami Dome, because he definitely did do that in the lore. We can see that. Um, there was speculation that Ransom is like the virus that rendered all cyber tech obsolete, creating the apocalypse that Barraza was born in. We don't seem to see that necessarily, because Ransom didn't actually die. He self-invited. He invited himself. And actually, so I know there are some people who are hoping for it, who are hoping that the Ransom reveal trailer, where Nash is seeing like a pop up of like free meat or whatever, and then it's like nervously pushing a button, and once he does, then Ransom like comes through the computer. So there are people I know who hoped that was canon. It is, clearly. It says Nash is henceforth banned from the Hall of Computers, however. So, yeah. Nash was in the Hall of Computers for some reason. He is the reason why, he's clearly the reason why Ransom got into Valhalla, which is awesome and hilarious to me. What else? But yeah, cyber warfare is still warfare. I'm curious what tags he has. Ooh, interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Semi-human hat wearer, obviously. Yeah. Semi-human. Is that a? Are there others who have had that tag? I'll have to reevaluate tags. Oh, yep. Here. Okay. Yeah. There are some. Yeah. Semi-human is a newer tag. That's interesting. I mean, Ransom was like a full human until he like downloaded himself into the internet, and yeah. Anyway, very cool. I love it, and honestly, this is this is a very, very fun example of, you know, the essentially just like how the like legend's signatures and visual design go through a lot of iterations, so too does the lore. And actually, we as a community, thanks to the CEO demo, had a very rare opportunity to see that in action with the lore itself, because this is not what we saw. This is not what was shown at CEO. They had like, I don't know how early that previous draft was, but clearly they had refined it and kept what they wanted, and added more things to make it more hilarious and everything like that. Because yeah, that initial that first quote in the earlier version of, you know, the whole thing about, you know, the only safety precaution for any of your devices is to smash them to pieces. That is funny, but I think it's funnier and more fitting for Ransom to hack the emergency alert and say, no, it's fine. Just keep your devices unlocked. It's totally fine. And hacking his own lore as well. I think that is fantastic. Oh yeah, another fun little detail. So Miami Dome, it is a dome. So it is a cyberpunk city, right? Miami, right? But it's a cyberpunk. It's a dome because it's underwater. Probably a reference to, you know, how, you know, global warming, you know, that kind of stuff, sea rising up. I'm guessing possibly in the future version of the Brawlhalla Earth or whatever, that's what happened. And so Miami is underwater, and that's why it's a dome. That's also why you see Miami Dome at the start of the SpongeBob crossover trailer, because it's underwater, right? I noticed Ransom did stuff with Deepwater Dublin. So I think this is another little tidbit of world building here, which is kind of fun. Definitely not necessary, but definitely fun. So not only is Miami Dome a city in the future that is underwater, but apparently Dublin is also underwater, and they call themselves Deepwater Dublin. Petition for a Deepwater Dublin map, Brawlhalla devs. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah. What do you guys think about Ransom's lore, and about kind of this kind of process we saw of like the older version versus this new current version? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope you enjoy Ransom as much as I do. Man, this is such a fun character. I have always enjoyed Bo, and I've been enjoying Chakram as well, and just this character is just. The signatures are very fun. As much as I love the butterfly skin is fantastic. Desktop butterfly, a reference to a virus, an actual virus. But the incognito Ransom, that's just really cool. The devs really cooked with this one. So Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, all the best.